Again, here we go again. What's up, peoples? Yo. What's up? It's Coach Nick Money.
And DBL Knicks.
And the one and only, the indelible one, DBL Knicks in the house
DBL.
with the one, the only, the stock queen, DBL Moms. Yeah, baby. We're on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not financial or stock advice. This is a show. We're not financial advisors and we're not stock advisors. So buckle up your seatbelts and get ready for the show. And if you're not following us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and do what this gentleman says.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share.
Because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And of course, you could follow us on Twitter and at X, right? X.com, Twitter. It's at Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, you can follow us on the Twitch.
At Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money. And of course, we're going to be streaming on the social media right now, but we're also going to take it to the private Discord. So if you guys want to join us on the private Discord and give the private Discord a whirl, squirrel,
Yes, sir.
you could go ahead and click the link in the description as well as the pinned comment. And basically, it will give you 5 days for $1, and then $39.99 thereafter. We caught a lot of bangers a lot of times. Today, the big runners were Akon, AKN, 164%, and NCPL, 132%. And Akon is a very interesting stockaroo. As you can take a look and see, let's go and shrink the screen. That's what we got on the screen. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right into it. So Akon, they did a reverse split recently. And now they got only 68,000 float. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it correctly. 68,000 float. So the float is a microscopic mini float. That is Akon. A-K-A-N. And right now, the volume is over 12 million shares. 12 million shares, ladies and gentlemen. So it's kind of like moving very sluggishly considering the float, but it did hit a high of $6.50, and it's time to get the old graffiti pencil sharpened, and we're getting into the Serengeti, DBL Knicks.
Yes, sir.
Wow, we're hunting for stonks. Forget about the gazelles. We're hunting for stonks. So let's get the graffiti pencil out and let's go ahead and fix this chart up a tad. Let's get it done. Okay, here we go. So we're going to, this area right here is pretty much like a demand zone. You can see that right there. And you can see that the price action's kind of staying in this area and bouncing off. You could see that it had almost like a double bottom. Doubles.
Yes, sir.
We like double bottoms. But you know what we like more than double bottoms, doubles?
Bottom tails.
Bottom tails, ladies and gentlemen, bottom tails. Okay, so we had a little bit of a double bottom over here, and the price action shot up, and it went to this area right over here, which is the supply zone. This is where, generally speaking, you'll see a sell-off. Yeah, that's the ticket, and that's exactly what happened. It sold off, and then it popped up again, so it formed kind of a head and shoulders over here, maybe. Let's go ahead and get the graffiti pencil out. So it was a head and shoulder over here, and another irregular shoulder over here, and then it sold off, and then it popped up again. So we got resistance in this channel, and I'm going to create the channel, ladies and gentlemen, right over here, right there. So that seems to be a resistance and support channel. So we want to see it stay above certainly 520. And we want to see it pop over 592 and then, of course, break through the resistance right here. So let's go ahead and narrow this down a little bit, and let's go ahead and go into a longer time frame and draw some stuff. And the reason why I'm spending some time on AKAN is because it's the leading runner of the morning.
Yeah.
And it has a float of only 68,000. And it has volume of 12 million. Now, if it only had news, man, would be terrific. But let's go into the 1 hour chart, see if we can garner anything from it. So, not really, nothing in particular. Let's go to the 4 minute. And again, it's going to be hard to garner information from this because this is a recent reverse split. So the longer time frames are not really helping us. Let's go take a look at the 1 minute, see what the 1 minute looks like. And we could see that it seems to be forming a potential cup and handle over here. Let me get the graffiti pencil out here and we'll go ahead and give it a little bit of a drawing right here. You could see maybe a cup over here. Consolidation up and down, and usually this would be an indication that maybe it can go bullish and go like this. Let's go, boom. Give me the line. Come on, you could do it. Like that, maybe. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. And we got Kareem in the house. Hey, welcome, Kareem. What's the target? Can't really see. You can't see the chart. Is that what's going on? Yeah, let's narrow this down a little bit. So you can see that right here we have resistance at the 650 mark. If it breaks 650, it's got room to go. But again, it's going to really depend on the volume, and it's going to depend on the attention. If another stock is hotter and pops in, this is going to become less attractive. But if there's nothing else moving, then it's going to be more attractive. We'll see what happens as time goes on. It is still only 8:38 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, and there's still time, a little bit more time for more news to come in. News usually comes in on the half hour, every half hour, right? So 8:30, 9 o'clock, 7:30, 7 o'clock, et cetera. So we're going to keep an eye on AKAN, and we're going to put a little bit of a alert over here just in case the movement happens after the bell. We will get a ringy dingy and we will come back to ACON, but we could see that it has a resistance level right here at 561 that it's trying to break. It's attempted once, twice, and now it's attempting a third time, and it does look like a potential cup and handle. So we will be keeping an eye on the leading gainer, ACON. The other ticker that moved was TRX, and you can see that it just broke through a resistance level, and TIRX does not have any news either, I don't believe. Let me just take a quick peek. No, they had a general statement of acquisition, insider buying on May 21st. It is a micro float as well, but it's a little bit bigger than ACAN, but ACAN again is not that big, so the float on this is under 1 million. It's 483 million, and the volume is significant at just under 5 million, and it's currently up 50%. So this is another one that's potentially interesting, but we look like we have a double top here on the 1 minute chart. So that would give us an indication of a pullback. Let's see if that's the case. Let's see what it looks like on the 5 minute chart. The 5 minute chart, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see very clearly that it definitely has a double top type of situation on the 5 minutes. So let's go to another ticker, because the way I look at things is, what have you done for me lately? If you're not running up and making money for the folks, what you doing? Okay, NCPL was another parabolic runner during the pre-market, and it hit a high of around 41.5 pennies and has since then sold off significantly. It is consolidating in this general zone over here. Let's get this chart cleaned up a little bit, ladies and gents. Let's remove the oval. Okay, and let's extend the demand zone at the bottom. And it seems to be relatively respecting the demand zone. It's just underneath VWAP. Generally, would like to see it above VWAP. And then we have a supply zone up here, right there. And let's get another graffiti pencil, DBL. Ready? Another one. So we could say theoretically that maybe this consolidation could result in a bull pennant. Maybe. This is on the 5, and that would be the pennant right there. And if the pennant pans out with volume, again, this was a top runner, and CPL was up 132%, but it dropped to 77%. So that's a significant drop. And this is a heavier floated stock, but again, it's only 31 cents, so it's cheap. The volume is 60 million. I don't see any news on it. It's the same type of situation. Seems like it's basically these inexpensive, generally speaking, microcaps. This is not a microcap that are popping and then dropping. But again, if in fact the chart pans out, maybe we could see a little bit of a run of a house. So let's go get the graffiti pencil. But again, we need volume confirmation. There's not a lot of volume right now, so it's still under VWAP, but this is going to be another ticker that we put on a side chart. Side chart FLA, ladies and gentlemen. Side chart FLA. Okay, let's see what else we got. We got a couple of other tickers that were moving. SMFL, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see what's going on with this. Let's zoom in. I don't like the way the chart looks, particularly because it's kind of like thinly traded. You can see that the candles look kind of anemic, so to speak, and you have a lot of top tails. And I'm just going to ask doubles. Do we like top tails, doubles?
No, we don't like top tails.
What do we like?
We like the bottom.
It's all about the bottom. Tails.
Tails.
Tails on the bottom, ladies and gentlemen. And these are top tails, so that is not particularly schmexy. Schmexy. Let's see what the deal is. The stock is at $3.33. This is also another micro float. So, let's draw some stuff here because I just feel very artistic today. Very artistic. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my little text box over here, and I'm gonna put it right there, and I'm gonna say micro mini skirt float. Boom. Micro mini skirt float, and it only has 77,000 shares. That's a little bit of shares. Okay, so it's a micro mini skirt float, 77,000 shares. That's it. Okay, but here's the thing: it's forming a double top, and that would be a bearish indicator. Now, if it can consolidate in this area right over here and form a handle, maybe we get a cup and handle. But the ticker doesn't have a lot of volume. So at this moment, not schmexy. We will keep you on a side chart just in case, but you're not schmexy at this juncture. No. Okay, later few. BSFC moved earlier. And pretty much not much news across the board. Let's clean this drawing up. So this looks like a reverse split because I could see that there was price action down here. And whenever I see lines like this, that means I traded way back when, or I thought about trading it way back when. And if the lines are way down here and the price action's way up here, it's usually an indication of a reverse split, and that seems to be the flavor of the day. Reverse splitteroons seems to be the flavor of the day. So let's go ahead and remove the old drawings. Let's get them out of the way. Get out of there. You know what? It didn't even take all of them away. So let's go ahead and clear the whole thing. We're going to clear everything. Clear drawing set. Boom. All right. So now you can see with BSFC that it was definitely a reverse split. The price action popped, it dropped, it doesn't have a lot of volume. Not that schmexy at all. We would need to see it get over 340, which is VWAP. And it doesn't look like it's doing much right now. Not a lot of volume. Not schmexy. So we will continue to hunt on the Serengeti, as we like to say. How about WORX? That has run in the past. WORX. Not sexy, no volume. Wah, wah, wah. Not schmexy. BCTX. Let's go and take a looky here. Okay, BCTX, what's the deal? It's $1.63. It's up only 13%. The float's on the heavier side at 14 million, and it has a little bit less than 1 million shares trading hands in the volume. And it's called Brain Cell Double Progression Free Survival. Here's the news. Brain cell doubles progression-free survival and reports clinical benefit data at ASCO 2024. And this news came out at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and it doesn't look particularly Shemexy at this juncture because there's not a lot of volume on it. So we will put you aside for now. Let's go ahead and put a little alert over here. If we hear that it does a ringy-dingy, we'll come back and check with you. But of course, if you don't look Shemexy, the motto is,
what have you done for me lately?
what have you done for me lately? Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to Acane. I call it Acon, but it's really Acane. 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 Let's go ahead and zoom in and see what's going on. So again, we had that that head and shoulders that resulted in the flush, and now we had like a little bit of a potential cup and handle here. This is all on the 5-minute, and the handle would be here, and we were hoping to see a pop. And again, it's channeling between 522, channeling between 590-ish. So what we really want to see is a break upward, and hopefully it breaks the resistance area over here, which tops off at 650, which was the previous high of the morning. So that would be nice. And again, this is a micro mini skirt float stock as well, with only 68 million shares, 68,000 shares. So it's a micro mini skirt float. Micro, okay? It's one of those short ones from the 1960s. Like that, okay? Like that, okay? Which I'm totally for coming back. Just saying. Sorry, DBL moms, I'm kidding. Stop. It's a joke. I'm a joker. Yoka. Come on. DBL moms, come on.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta get the helmet doubles. Gotta get that chancleta is murder. Moiter, I tell you. It's absolute moiter. Okay, the volume is 13 million on it, so there's a lot of trading going on, but it looks like it's an indecisive type of trading because it's kind of choppy right now. But we're gonna keep it on the main side chart because it's up 133%, and it was up 164%. And it seems to be that, like I said earlier, the flavor of the day seems to be a reverse split resulting in a micro mini squat type of situation with the float, micro float stocks. So there's a couple of them that are under 100,000 shares in the float, which is ridiculously low. Okay, so that's what's going on right now. So we got Acane that we're looking at. TIRX is the second runner, but TIRX is only up 48% at this point. It's a $4 stock at this point, TIRX, and you can see that there's a lot of top tails.
You don't like top
We
tails.
don't like the top tails, and it seems very choppy because even though it is trending, let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit and maybe put it to the 1 minute to make it a little bit more obvious. So we can zoom in a little bit more and we could say, hey, it's trending up. So let's go get our graffiti pencil out and let's go ahead and do a little bit of this stuff right here, right there, boom, okay? So we can see right here that the price action is trending upward, but look at how choppy it is. It goes up with a lot of top tails. We don't like the top tails. It flushes hard. It goes under VWAP, comes back up. A lot of top tails, flushes hard under VWAP. So this is a very tricky stock to trade. And although I'm going to put you on the TIRX side chart, I'm not particularly loving you at this point because you got also a double top and potentially a triple top on the 1 minute. So you got another one right there. So that would kind of give me a scare that if it doesn't hold VWAP, we could see a drop-a-roo in price. So this one kind of scares me, and I'm not loving it at this moment unless it gets a lot of volume and starts to straighten out and stop being choppy as it is so far. This is a Chinese stock, Tianrujian Holding. I hope I pronounced that correctly, right? And there is absolutely no news other than on May 21, there was an insider acquisition. So that's the news for this particular ticker. We have another ticker which is on the heavy side at 40 million, MRUS, MRUSE.
MRUSC?
No. You get the reference? You got it? Yeah, like that. I'm such a child. I really am. This is kind of expensive and not very heavily traded. So not schmexy. No. Let's take a look at BCTX one more time, see if anything's happening. And it looks like horrible. Looks like you have a triple top on the 1 minute, and of course, it already started flushing. So let's get the graffiti pencil out, and you can see a top over here, a top over there, and a top over there, and it did a flusheroo, and it looks like it could flush even more. So, BCTX, get out of town, yo. You got to get out of town. I mean, like really out of town, out of here, NCPL. NCPL, again, consolidating. It is in the demand zone. We need for it to hold this demand zone right here. Let's get the graffiti pencil. If it breaks below the demand zone, that would not be good. Again, not clear whether or not this is going to move, but it's trying to form a bull pennant, and it is maintaining this lower channel, the demand zone. So if we can see it break over the 32 cent mark, this is a mini penny stock. So if it breaks through the 32 cent mark, it can become much more interesting, or as we like to say, much more schmexy. And if it goes over 34 and a half, even so. But right now, it is unclear as to whether or not it will do that. You could see that it could very easily break below that level, and we could see that it is darn close to the 200 SEMA, which is telling me that there is not a heck of a lot of volume on the stock. So not particularly schmexy, but it's worth keeping on a side chart because there's not that much going on today.
Yeah.
DBL, so far, we haven't seen anything that was super schmexy after the 164% run by A-Kane and the 132% earlier this morning run of NCPL, which is what we're looking at right now. But again, what have you done for me lately, NCPL? What have you done for me? I'm discerning. Yeah, that's another $5 word.
That's a big word.
I don't even know what it means. Get the dictionary, will you? Get the dictionary. Quick, before they hear us. Come on. Oh, the mic's on. It's hot mic. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
All right, let's see what's going on here. Here's another stock. HLTH is a heavy floated stock that was moving earlier. HLTH, but it broke the trend over here. You can see that we had drawn a trend line over here, and it broke down from the trend line, and now it looks like it has a triple top on the 5 minute. We don't like triple tops. It also has a lot of top tails. We don't like top tails. We like the bottom tails. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all about the bottom tails. All about the bottom tails. You know what I mean? So this would give me concern that we could have a flusheroo over here. We would need to see a break of this downward trend right here. Otherwise, we could see a drop. So HLTH, it's also a heavy floated stock at 89 million, and the volume's only 81 million. And the only news is from May 21, where there was a change in beneficial ownership, so insider buying. And that don't seem like enough to make this particular ticker schmexy to me. I don't care that you're up 30%. That's not interesting unless you break the VWAP, which is over here. Let's get the graffiti pencil. And it would be roughly around 1375-ish. 1375-ish would be your VWAP. Let's go ahead and put a little ringy-dingy alert over here just in case, ladies and gentlemen. Just in case it decides that it wants to wake up. And by the way, if you're having fun with us today, would you consider sharing?
Sharing is caring.
Sharing's caring, and we would really love if you did that. Thank you very much. In case you do share, thank you very much. And if you don't share, thank you very much anyway. All right, let's go to Lucy. We had Peggy. Hold on, I want to go to Peggy. I want to just say, hey, what's up, Peggy? It's going down. Okay. Let's go to Lucy. Lucy! I'm home. Lucy! All right, so what's the deal with Lucy? It's just under VWAP, but it looks like it's forming a potential double top on the 1 minute. Let's see what it looks like on the 5 minute. The 5 minute. 5 minute chart, ladies and gentlemen. And we could see that we had created demand and supply zone. So let's go ahead and fix this up a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, so we can take a look at what the situation is with demand and supply zone. So this is the demand zone. Boom, right there. Let's zoom back in. They got to do something about this feature. Not on. Okay, here we go. Boom. And your supply zone would be roughly right around here. Right there. Right there. Yeah. All right, so we got a supply zone. We got a demand zone. We could see that the price action on the 5 is hugging the demand zone. We know that VWAP is right about here. So let's get the other graffiti pencil up. Boom, boom, and boom. So about 24 and almost 25 cents is where the VWAP is. It looks like a potential double bottom. It needs volume. It needs volume. The float's 8 million. The volume's only 21 million, which is okay, but it's not I'm not going to write home about it, you know what I mean? And let's see. It had earnings on May 14th, and it beat its EPS and it missed revenue. So it was like a mixed review on that particular earnings news. Now, this Lucy stock oftentimes does have news, and it has a history of popping and dropping. So let's go to the longer time frame and take a look at Lucy.
Yes,
And you can
sir.
see over here, there was a pop. Right, so this is the 180-day chart. There was a pop and a drop, a pop and a drop, and then you have a bunch of baby pops and drops over here, and another pop and drop, and then another pop and drop, a pop and drop, a pop and drop, and another pop. So maybe there's a drop? I don't know. But I will put an alert here. If it breaks over VWAP, it could get schmexy. It needs volume. All these stocks are not really doing well volume today. But again, it's a Friday going into Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
And there's news that came out from the FOMC that they're probably not going to cut interest rates anytime soon. So that kind of put a damper. But you know what? We still got like 6 or 7 100% plus runners yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Like, for example, ONMD that we
ONMD.
called before 6:21 in the morning. Who did that? We did, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, and it ran 440% in after hours. And, of course, we kept on calling it because that's what we do. The early bird gets the cash. Forget about the worms. Forget about the worms. We don't like worms. They get the cash. Cashola. All right, let's go back to AKAN and see what's going on with AKAN. And AKAN, once again, it had the triple top. We were hoping that this was a cup and a handle. It's still remaining in a channel. Not particularly schmexy at this point. It is the leading gainer, up at a 129%. I'm a little parched, double, so I'm going to have a little bit of a beverage. I'm not having espresso ice today, doubles. I'm having my other favor. Fanta orange. Fanta. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, Fanta, call me. Sponsorship. Now.
Yes.
Just saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, boy, Fanta. That's pretty good. Yummy. Yum, 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 yummy. Okay. We have a company that has just popped up on the scanner. It's a heavy floated stock, CCG. 33 million float. Very choppy. Checho Group scheduled first quarter 2024 earnings call and conference call date. They scheduled it. Let's click into it and see what the actual date is. Let's see what's going on here. Let's read this. It's a Chinese stock. Gee willikers. My favorite. China's leading auto insurance technology platform today announced it will host a conference call to discuss first quarter 2024 results on Thursday, May 30th. Maybe a buy the rumor, sell the news? Maybe. The first quarter 2024 earnings release and related investor deck will be available on the investor relations website, blah, blah, blah. A live webcast will be available in the event section of the company's investor relations website under news and events. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so they're going to have an earnings event on the 30th. It is curling slightly based on that. And here's the deal. Only 72,000 shares have traded hands, and it's a 33 million float stock. It's currently up 16%. Not particularly schmexy, not at this moment, but what we'll do is we'll put a little alert here, just in case it decides to move north of the border. And if it does, we'll get a ringy dingy, and we'll come back to take a look at CCG. CCG, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's go take a look at some other tickers and see what's going on. Looks like NCPL might be waking up. Let's take a look and see what's going on. NCPL. NCPL. Holy moly! Did we say that it was a bull pattern, Bubbles?
Yes, we did.
We did, didn't we? And did we say that maybe it would go up?
Yes, we did.
Oh, if it held in the demand zone. Oh, who told you that? Yeah. That's the ticket. So it's up now, 99%. Not a lot of volume, so it can jackknife back down. It's hitting resistance. It is a penny stock under $1, so they are super volatile. But as of now, it's up 99%, and we're waiting to see if it can break this key level right here of around 34.5. Let's get the graffiti pencil out. Let's do some more drawing. So far, so good. It's doing what we thought it might do and hoped it would do. Let's see if it keeps on going up. In fact, I want to be positive, ladies and gentlemen. I want to be positive, so I'm going to draw my line a little bit longer. Can you go all the way up to the demand zone? Can you be a good little stocky poo? Can you be a good little stocky poo and go up? Not with a doji candle, you can't. It's forming a doji candle on the 5 minute. We're going to go to the 1 minute and see what's going on. 1 minute chart also showing us the same thing, a bull pennant, and it seems to be breaking above that resistance area, and it looks like if we get our graffiti pencil out, we can go ahead and do this. This seems to be a resistance area right here at 35.5. We'd like to see it break that 35.5, or at the very least maintain price action above this level over here. If it can maintain this level and bounce upward, that would be good. If not, it might be done for the time being. But let's go to the 5 minute chart. Let's go ahead and zoom in and see what's going on. And you can see it's forming a top tail. We don't like the top tail.
We like the bottom.
We're all about the bottom tail. Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh.
so this presented a potential scalping opportunity, but certainly on the risky side. I'm not really particularly in love with it just yet. I need to see it form a bottom tail. And if it can form a bottom tail, that would be good. Again, there's a couple things that I don't like about the stock. The float is a little bit on the heavier side at 15 million, but it is only a 33-cent stock. The volume is not that high. It's only 71 million, which is not really super high. But it and it has no news. I mean, there's no news. Nothing. Nada. Nothing that I see, at least. There was something on May 8th. They're pursuing a broker-dealer license to increase potential revenue generation. Okay, all right, whatever. But at the end of the day, it is close to the demand zone. So I'm going to get the other graffiti pencil to extend the demand zone so we can show that. And, you know, if it doesn't break out, it may certainly come back down to the demand zone. And, of course, we want to see it hold above the bottom of the demand zone, which is right over here. Now, it could pull back and shoot back up and continue with that bull pennant that we drew. Let's go zoom out a little bit. There's the bull pennant, and maybe this is a micro pullback and up, but the problem is the previous candle is a doji, which is a candle of indecisiveness, basically a battle between buyers and sellers. Ooh. And it's an indecisive candle. Now, it's based on a 5 minute period, so if we go and take a look at the 1 minute, we can garner some further information, and we can see on the 1 minute, it doesn't look particularly schmexy. It looks like it's going to flush down on the 1 minute. Okay, it looks like it's forming a baby shoulder, a head, and a baby shoulder, which would give us the possibility of a flush downward. And again, we have different levels that we would be looking at. We'd want to see it stay above 32 and change, and absolutely stay above 30.5. I mean, if it doesn't go above 30.5, then we have a bit of a situation. So now, does it in fact form a head and shoulders here? at this level right here, or does it break through? Two previous candles were top tails, so that is not a good feel, but this candle looks like it's getting kind of thick, so that's good. Let's take a look at it on the 5 minute. We'll bounce between the 5 and 1 minute and see what's going on. Not a heck of a lot of volume. That's the other problem with it, but we do have doubles. A bottom tail forming on the 5 minute.
5 minutes.
And again, it's coming up to resistance. Does it break the first resistance level with the bottom tail?
Bottom tail.
We need volume, ladies and gentlemen. It's moving towards and getting closer to 1 million. Remember, this is a heavier floated stock, so it's not like Acon, which has like under 70,000 shares, and it's not like SMFL, which was also another micro mini skirt float at 77,000 shares. This one's got 15 million shares, so it needs volume, like a lot of volume to really move. And you can see that this candle is also now forming a bit of a doji, so that's a bit of a problem. It doesn't have the volume to push itself up, and right now it's at 93 cents. So NCPL, I'm getting tired of this nonsense. So I'm going to put a little ringy-dingy over here. And if you decide that you want to do the right thing for the peoples, for the indelible army, we'll come back and check with you. But until then, what have you done for me lately? Let's go take a look at Acane. Yeah, that's right. I'm checking out Acane. NCPL, that's right. Acane. You can have your people talk to my people, okay? All right. So Acane, let's take a look at this one. And again, we had the idea that maybe it was going to form a cup and handle. Doesn't look like that's accurate. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that particular oval so that we can neaten up the chart a bit. And you can see that the price action is still, in fact, still channeling in this area. And as we get closer to the 9:30 bell, the situation becomes a situation of, is there a sell-off with profit-taking doubles? Is there a sell-off with profit-taking? And that is very possible. And because it's a very low-float stock, it could be a significant sell-off. Now, that being said, people could come in, and they see that it's up 126%. And they could see that it has a low float. And maybe the volume pushes it north. But I would say there would be profit-taking, and most likely they're not a dip before a potential rip, if there is a rip at all. Could that be? Could it be?
Could it be?
That's what I'm thinking. All right, that's what I'm thinking. So we're going to go ahead and neaten up this chart a hair. Let's go ahead and extend this channel of indecisiveness right here. Channel of indecisiveness. So again, we need to see it stay above. Well, let's go in there. We need to see it stay above right here, 521-ish. And get over 590-ish and move north. Let's clean this up a little bit. Boom, let's get rid of that. And let's delete that. We want to see it go up. The prevailing chart right now is the head and shoulders, which would be a bearish pattern, but as the price action extends outward further and further and further, this particular pattern becomes less valid. It's more valid when it happens closer. And you can see that there was, in fact, a sell-off, but it respected roughly that 520 price point. So let's go to a different time frame. And again, we're kind of limited because the ticker did a reverse split. So it's going to be kind of difficult to really garner a lot of information. But if I extend the graffiti pencil out a little bit more, you can see that this area is a respected resistance and support line. You can see that the price action goes up just above it and then comes right back down, and it was supporting it, it was respecting it as a resistance area, and now it is still respecting it as a support area. But look at all these top tails, and look at how this is a top tail red. And that would give me concern that the price action might, in fact, dip below the 520. So we're hoping that that's not the case. We're hoping that it'll hold the channel and bounce back up. AKAN, you had a nice 164% run in pre-market. But as we like to say, doubles,
what have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately? Ladies and gentlemen, we are still on the Serengeti hunting for stonks. and gazelles, both of them. We want both of them. Yeah. So let's see whether or not TIRX got itself a little bit more in tune with what we were hoping for or not. Let's take a look and see what's going on. And that is the 30-minute chart. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. And remember, we said it was kind of on the sloppy side. And we said that if it broke the trend, it would go down. And in fact, it did in fact go down. And we said that it had a triple top over here and that it would go down. And in fact, it did happen to go down. So at this point, what we need to see happen, and I'm going to go ahead and clear out the lines a little bit so we can have a little more clarity on what's going on. And I'm going to go to the 1-minute chart so you can see it a little bit more clearly. And you can see the uptrend was very, very choppy, very, very scary. But what I am seeing is that it's trying to make a curl back up again. This ticker is certainly not a ticker that I would like to trade. I would probably pass on it. But theoretically, we could say that it's curling and maybe it can make its way back up. But quite frankly, TIRX, what have you done for me lately? You went up to 50-something%. Great. Now you're up only 34%, and you're kind of sloppy. You're kind of on the sloppy side.
Kind of sloppy.
A little bit, and not trying to be mean to you, but maybe you can get your act together and curl up. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a little alert over here, and if you decide that you want to curl up, maybe we'll consider you as a side chart. But right now, you're not really that schmexy, so no side chart here. No, sir, no siree. We got a penny stock moving. PAVS, ladies and gentlemen. PAVS on the move. Oh, and it's a double top. It was actually up 78%. 81%. Any news on PAF? No news whatsoever. Low volume and 5.7 million float. But again, the formula of the day seems to be pops and drops, which is a very dangerous type of a climate to trade in because you could get stuck in the drop. So if you pull the trigger too slow or you get in too late, you got this kind of droppage going on. So right now, on the 1 minute, it does not look particularly schmexy. And on the 5-minute chart, you could clearly see a double top with a top tail. Yuck. Yuck, 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 yuck.
So let's the top tails.
We want the bottom tails, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the bottom tails. All about the bottom tails. All about the bottom tails. And you can see that there are clearly two top tails signifying a double top, which would be an indication of a bearish reversal, and we don't like them. We don't like them. So that would suggest a flusheroo could certainly happen over here, and because of that, PAVS, I'm going to have to say to you, yeah, okay, so you went up to 80% for a split second, but what have you done for me lately? I'm not impressed. Let's take a look at FFIE. This was a parabolic runner that we called back on, I think, April 18th. I might be wrong about that, but the stock ran like 6,000 or 7,000% after we called it, and it was a multi-day runner. And it was one of those meme-ish type of stocks in response to GameStop and AMC mania. Yes. It is curling up somewhat. It's only up 14%. The float is now 17 million, so it looks like it had some dilution because I believe the float was a lot less when it was going up. Not a lot of volume at 9 million. So, okay, all right. So you ran 7,000%. I could respect it, but you know what we like to say, right?
What have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately? FFIE, not schmexy enough even for a side chart.
Nope.
No. Okay, EDBL was a previous runner recently. Not a lot of volume. But it has some news, so let's go to the videotape. Edible Gardens completes phase 2 of Pack House build-out at company's flagship Belvidere, New Jersey facility. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Well, here's the deal. The stock has a 295,000 float, so that kind of fits the equation that we're seeing. you know, like Acon having a low float and SMFL having a low float and so on and so forth. But here's the thing. Those stocks got some volume. This one only has 19,000 shares. So what have you done for me lately? We'll put a little ringy-dingy over here. And if you start moving, we'll come back to you. But until then, later for you. All right, let's take a look at CCG. CCG is starting to maneuver, and it's starting to come up to our mark. But again, it is still very lightly traded. It is a 33 million float stock, so it's got a lot of float, and the volume is only 116,000. So it's got a little bit of volume, but it is a China stock. So those China stocks, a lot of times they pump very hard, even with low volume. The old pump, and they usually dump, right? They usually pump and dump like that. That's what we often see. So it's releasing earnings. What is this? Scheduled first quarter 2024 earnings release and conference call date, which we know is May 30th. May 30th, ladies and gentlemen, May 30th is the date. That's the date. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So that's what we're hearing as far as the date for this call. But that's not particularly Shemexy at this point. So we're going to go back to the videotape and keep on hunting for another ticker. Okay, RVSN was another ticker that popped up with news. RVSN early in the morning, and you can see that it is barcoding, so the news didn't do much. What was the news? The news was Rail Vision reflects on positive operational highlights since the start of 2024, scaling up commercialization. Sounds like a whole lot of nuttin'. That's what it sounds like to me. A whole lot of nuttin'. Yeah. Float is 1 million, though, but the volume is only 116,000. So, not particularly schmexy, ladies and gentlemen. So, what have you done for me lately, RVSN? I know you ran recently, but right now, right this minute, what have you done for me lately? ISSC. Okay, ISSC moving somewhat, very slowly. We're on the 1 minute. Let's take a look at the 5 minute. The 5 minute chart. Let's zoom in and let's see what the situation is with ISSC. It's currently up 22%. It had on May 23rd a statement of beneficial ownership, so insider purchases. Float 9 million, volume only 28,000. Not particularly schmexy, but you do have a nice little tail, a bottom tail, I tell you, on that 5 minute candle. But I don't see enough volume to make this particularly schmexy. So what we'll do is we'll put a little alert here, and hopefully when the bell ringy dings, we will be able to see some activity on it. And about the bell. So we're going to stay on social media for a little while longer. And then after that, we're going to go to the Discord and continue streaming. And it'll be a lot more serious going on. We're going to go for like maybe 2 more minutes over here. So ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to join us on the Discord and continue watching our information on the charts, there's a link in the description as well as the pinned comment. You could sign up for the Discord for a trial, $1, less than a cup of a coffee, and then it's $39.99, and we call a lot of bangers a lot of times. I think we had like about 6 of them yesterday, something like that, and we basically called 2 of them today, 164%, 132%, AKN, and NCPL. So that's a thing. And if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe and do what this gentleman says.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share.
Because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, if you're not following us on Twitter, x.com, it's at Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money.
At Coach Nick Money. And of course, we're on Twitch at Coach Nick Money, at Coach Nick Money. And that is basically it, ladies and gentlemen. It's Coach Nick Money and
DBL Nicks,
the indelible one, and the one and only, the stonk queen herself, the stock queen herself, DBL Moms, my better half, my betrothed. Love you, my sweetie pie. Hey! And that's the end of the show. Love you, stay green. And if you're going to come and join us on the Discord, say hello and tell us where you came